What you're looking at is not a traffic jam. This is essentially a breadline in one of the nicest, richest neighborhoods in Vegas. And when I saw that, it was shocking, but not shocking. Almost 100 cars in line, 2 lanes of traffic, the local media celebrating food pantries in Vegas. Meanwhile, the same local media is getting on TV and gaslighting you, telling you that everything is going great where they admit that it's not. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at how the media is lying to you about the economy, not just in Vegas, but where you live too.
With just 3 weeks left in 2025, it is time now to start looking ahead to the new year. And tonight we're going to focus on our slumping visitor numbers. So what will the new year actually bring to our hospitality industry, which supports, by the way, more than 1 out of every 4 jobs in the state? There are several big events, I should say, that are going to happen next year. CES returning in January. March Madness, of course, always huge. And then WrestleMania 42, that will take over Allegiant Stadium in April. EDC taking center stage in May. And, of course, another installment of the Las Vegas Grand Prix in November. News 3's Steve Wolford is live in downtown Las Vegas with details on a new report that suggests that our economic engine might be revving up a little bit.
So they're banking on big events in the story, as you can see. The issue is that those events happen every single year. In the case of things like the F1, we don't know any kind of guarantees. Those things are dictated by the economy, as we saw this year with the low foot traffic, but high crowds in the seats. Again, catering to the AA crowd that we talk about on this channel, the affluent asset holders who can afford $2,500 to $9,000 for those great seats.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, Latoya. For most of us, coming up with a reliable economic forecast for the city of Las Vegas would likely take place on a Ouija board. That's why we're very lucky to have the Center for Business and Economic Research at UNLV. They've come up with some new studies, and it shows that we could see our visitor slump come to an end next year. But the bad news is it's also going to depend on some economic factors that are pretty much out of our control.
Did you notice how he chuckled when she introduced him and saying that things are going to get better? Now, big credits to Steve Wolford. He's been covering this beat in Vegas nearly as long as I have. They started their series of videos with him covering everything somewhere in the summertime. And at this point, I think he knows. I mean, he's been the guy digging in the trenches the longest. But listen to what he says. He tells you that you would need a Ouija board because factors beyond our control are happening all around us. But this is hitting everybody, not just tourist towns. Don't tell me it's getting better in small towns in Nebraska, where recently Tyson laid off an entire city's worth of people, where Pepsi is closing down plants in the Midwest. Don't tell me it's getting better when layoffs are across the board or up. And you guys say that I am just an alarmist. You're just a doom and gloomer. I show you proof on these videos constantly. Things we can't control are the economy. And I think Steve knows this, and I hate to be in this position that he is in. So props and credit to him.
I'm cautiously pessimistic. Yeah.
Andrew Woods is the director of UNLV's Center for Business and Economic Research. For more than a decade, it's collected every scrap of available data to help the local business community anticipate which way the economic winds are blowing across Las Vegas. Based on its latest visitor projections for 2026,
we're going to be stuck between 39 and 40 million visitors next year.
So where does that fall historically? Well, it's about 1.5 million visitors shy of 2024, but is good or possibly a little better than where we'll end up for 2025.
So we've gone from the nice young lady introducing the segment suggesting things are getting better in 2026. And if that's all you watched of the video, you're excited. And this is how the major news gaslights you. The truth is, the UNLV economics person said it himself, 30 to 40 million people in 2026. But that still doesn't account for the 3 million people who are gone. And what are they doing right now? They're sitting at home, wherever they are, worried about the economy, low consumer confidence. Heck, did you know that 25% of the buy now, pay later transactions are happening for groceries? And don't get me started on fast food. And think about that. When people are planning a vacation, they're not planning it to come to Vegas. The one city in America, stick through to the end because I got a surprise for you for a future video. The one city in America where you just can't get value anymore.
Woods says tipping the scale one way or the other will likely depend less on catchy promotions for Las Vegas and more on economic issues that impact locals and potential tourists.
My general take is the economy has shifted in the last year and a half. We went through a period of very high inflation, but consumers felt like they could keep up because the job market was very robust and they felt there were options for them.
Another variable that'll impact 2026 tourism, will the Fed lower interest rates so consumers have a little extra money for a Vegas trip?
Just feel more comfortable about making those discretionary purchases. Those are usually done on credit for the middle to lower income consumer. And so do credit conditions for them allow so they can manage their debt.
Basically, what they're telling you is that the fabulous 5-day sale, which we've talked about on this channel in the past, didn't really work. He's also stating that everybody's afraid of losing their jobs and they don't know where the economy is going, so they're sitting on their money. And if they are traveling, they're financing it on credit cards. But go back to the video. I'm 2 miles away from the most prestigious neighborhood in the city, watching a food pantry, a breadline, in Las Vegas, of all places. I mean, does that look like keeping up to you? No, the truth is Vegas is going to keep doing what Vegas is doing. While household debts are up to $18, $19 trillion now, delinquency rates on credit cards have soared, auto loads are spiking, and we're imploding on the subprime lending. So to participate in the economy these days, you gotta, like I said before, be a AA person, assets, affluence. My students got that with their brains because they go and do my course 1K a day. I got people making 50 to 400, some of them making 500 a day on the course. It's so amazing to see them grow like this. What if you had that skill? You could go into the markets, read it, click if it goes up, make money, click if down if it goes money. For the first 4 people watching this video, click the link below, type in the code 26 so you can have a better 2026. You get it for $200 one time. That's all you pay. You'll have a skill nobody can take. You'll be smarter than your friends. And then the only bread line you'll be standing in is the line at the ATM to go get bread out of the ATM machine. Nobody calls it bread anymore. That's like, I was born in the 80s. That is before my time. But bread, man.
Woods also believes tourism in Las Vegas will be helped next year by more certainty, one way or the other, about the direction of the nation's economy.
I think by the end of next year, I don't think sentiment will get lower. I think it might start to raise by the end of next year, given that we've probably gotten through another year of kind of this uncertainty.
That can't happen soon enough for the Culinary Union, which represents 60,000 hospitality workers in Las Vegas who've seen their hours and incomes drop since the summer in what union leader Ted Papageorge calls the Trump slump.
We're more than pessimistic, unfortunately, but we're encouraged by these reports. But our members and regular workers, they're having a hard time with the cost of living. The cost of groceries are through the roof, the cost of rent.
So now we have the real root of the problem. It's uncertainty. It's consumer uncertainty. They do reports in the markets. We teach our students about this in the course. It's the consumer confidence report, and it's been declining since February. What that means is that people have no confidence in the economy right now. So even if they have a good paying job, they're not going on vacation. And when they do, they don't come to predatory Las Vegas where bottles of water are $26 in the casinos. Then you have the Culinary Union who is getting their hours cut, but this isn't a Vegas thing. This is happening across the country. Now they're talking about the unions, they're talking about hours, they're blaming the president. It's such a mess. Everybody's pointing at each other and nobody has a solution except for make more money somehow.
So right now, affordability is one of those words that we're going to be hearing a lot from over the next several months into the midterms. Andrew Wood says that right now anyway, doesn't look like we're headed toward a recession or a big spike in unemployment numbers. But he also says that Las Vegas has not been sharing on the good fortune that he's seeing from other places, other destinations like Disney parks are up double digits in the quarter that's just now wrapping up, the financial quarter that'll end in a few weeks at the end of the year.
And there you have the big reveal. We have the fact that affordability is a major problem. It's interesting what he says, though, about how we're not going to have high unemployment. Well, that's because you don't really have to unemploy people. All you have to do is cut their hours to a point where they're still technically on the payroll and they don't really lose their jobs. And therefore, you just don't report them as an unemployed person. So if you have an entire workforce, for example, and you're just giving them 1 or 2 shifts a week and they have to work gig work, you don't have to look like the bad guy and say that you laid people off, because that would make you look terrible. But listen to that big admission at the end. Disney parks are seeing double-digit gains. Vegas is seeing single-digit gains. There's something so broken in here, and I can't wait till I expose it in an upcoming video. Gosh, you need to subscribe to the channel. I know I'm that jerk who keeps asking you to subscribe, but if you don't, you may just not see it. And I have some information about how other markets are surviving, and they're thriving, and we're not. And there has to be a reason.
Steve, I got to tell you, that's some shocking and pleasant news for the people there who are part of Disney. But I got to ask you, though, we mentioned those mainstay events that we tend to depend on. Is there anything else that's down the pike for 2026 that might actually give our numbers a boost?
Well, yeah, that's right. Our sports economy that we keep talking about. We've got the Aces, the Golden Knights, the Raiders. That is actually building a very healthy economic base for us. In fact, the sports economy now has grown, according to the latest numbers, to $1.8 billion as of 2022. Then you throw in things like the Taylor Swift concert, Beyonce, all coming to Allegiant Stadium. Factor in Allegiant Stadium with everything else. Over the next 10 years, Allegiant Stadium alone is going to generate $1.7 billion for the local economy. So once we get all these economic pistons firing on all cylinders now, our economy should take off. At least we can hope so.
Yeah, that is huge. So I'm so glad that we have all of that stuff to look forward to. Thank you so much, Steve.
And this right here is really, really telling. You see, for years, decades, half a century since America became mobilized post-World War II, Vegas was a destination of 2 to 3 day stays where the average person would come in multiple times over the course of a year if they could, if they loved it enough, and they would spend, on average, far less than other places. Now, take a look at Orlando versus Vegas. The average stay in Orlando is going to be for several days, actually. It's a week, approximately. And most people go to Orlando, spend $1,000 a day, spend anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000 in Orlando. Right now, the average person comes to Vegas for 3.4 nights per stay. They go to Orlando for 6 to 7 days. And now in Vegas, they'll spend $1,322 average per trip, whereas the average person going to Orlando spends $5,000 to $7,000. So we've transitioned. People don't have to come to Vegas 1, 2, 3 times a year. Californians might come every few years to watch their team play, the Raiders. Or you put all your cash together so you can go see Taylor Swift at Allegiant Stadium, as he mentioned. And in all of these cases, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars more than if you were just able to come to Vegas like you did in the past and spend a few grand maybe in the course of a few days and know that it was always here with a good value for you to come back to. And for those other destinations, places like Miami, Florida, San Diego, California, without any marquee massive events, why are they doing better than Vegas? Well, we're going to explore this in a future video, but it all comes down to international versus domestic and how the domestic traffic is choosing those destinations over Vegas. And we'll unveil why that's happening in a video next week. But there's always an opportunity for you somewhere out there. You just have to look for it. And if there's anything I can say at the end of these videos, it's that even though things seem a little bit down right now, you can change your life around in a minute. So go do something with your life positive in 2026. Start that business you always wanted to start, or start putting out job applications, or take my course. You'll find a coupon code below. Just go learn a skill or do something, because in life, if you're not moving forward, you're just moving backward. And as my mentor always tells me every day, just keep swimming.